Hello guys, this is Donatas with Resident Realty again. Today I've invited the guest from the mortgage industry, Laura Curtis. She's expert in the loans and she's loan officer from Franklin Loan Center. Hi Laura.
Hi, Donatus. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you.
Good.
So we have few questions for you. So what are the guidelines right now in the mortgage industry and what people need to know before we can start the process of buying the house?
Good question. So I would say that with the guideline changes, everything is so different. With the COVID-19 and the markets right now, guidelines are changing all the time. So depending on what loan program you go with, depends on the guidelines. So for example, CHFA guidelines have changed, jumbo guidelines have changed. So I would recommend for anybody that's looking to buy a home to always get pre-qualified. It's always a good idea to just talk to your mortgage expert and just make sure that you're going through those steps before you fall in love with a house. We always have tons of different programs that we can look at. So people aren't subject to just one thing if they're not getting something for a new guideline. So
Yeah, sure.
I think it's important to get pre-qualified.
Okay, great. Yeah. So right now, what like a few, 2, 3 major changes in the loan process or?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now in today's age and with any lender at this point is lots of income verification and verification of employment. Usually when we do this process, we only have verification of employment one time. And now because of all these changes and because unfortunately with layoffs, we're looking at 2, 3, or 4 income verifications and employment verifications.
Yeah, sure.
That's the major change right now. As far as any other changes, I think the other thing is appraisals are running a little bit slower just across the industry. They're flooded with refinances and a lot of purchases right now because rates are good.
Yeah, of course.
I think the delay in appraisals is a difficult change right now.
Okay. So is it a really good time right now to buy for those who are thinking, or do you think maybe to wait or?
It depends on everybody's situation, but I think that now is definitely a good time to buy. Rates, we just don't know what rates are going to do on the daily right now. Of course, we watch the bond market, keep an eye on that, but it's such a great time rate wise to get into something as well as to sell. So, I mean, whatever people are looking for, I think it's a great time to look as long as you feel comfortable, with your jobs and things like that, it's a good.
Sure. I see. Okay. So another question, what the biggest changes you have to be aware of while buying a house or before you thinking to sell your house?
I think when it comes to buying a house, again, just that pre-qual, just make sure that you know what you're qualified for. Make sure you are talking to your loan officer and your real estate agent to make sure that you're looking at the right price point for you and what makes sense. So I think for buying a house, that's some things to look at. And then as far as selling a house, I'm sure you can attest to this too. Houses are going off the market quick.
Yes,
I just had a neighbor that put their house up for sale on Monday and it's sold.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so and a few last questions. So what is the biggest concern right now and what buyers are worrying the most, and what questions they usually ask you the most during this process?
Yeah, so I think a scary thing can be timelines. Everybody kind of wants to know the timelines of closing loans and deals right now. And they want to know what the rate is. I think that's the number one question I get is, what rate do I qualify for? And, I hate this answer, but it's a truthful answer. And it just depends on everybody's situation. I can give you a flat, here's what the rate is today, but until we see your situation, it could be better. It could be a little bit less. So it's definitely one of those big hot questions right now. And then timelines, if you have a contingent sale, it's really hard right now. We need to make sure that everybody's on the same page and, making sure everybody knows that appraisals are a little slower right now, but otherwise it's really a smooth time to buy and sell.
I see. Okay, so great information and a lot of options. So anything else you would like to add before we can wrap up?
I just would say that if any borrowers or buyers have any questions, or even sellers have any questions, just it'd be a good time to get in touch with their agent. And I'm sure you're similar in this too. I don't work off of pressure. I want people to get the good information and the right information. So I'm all about
Sure.
questions. If your borrowers or if anybody has questions about financing, just send them my way, and we can talk through any process.
Okay, sounds good, Laura. Good information. So for those who would like to get in touch with you and if they have any questions or would like to start the process for the mortgage approval, so let them know how they can get in touch with you and
Sure. Yeah, so email is great for me. Email, text, phone, I'm 24/7. So my email is L Curtis, LCURTIS at franklinlc.com. I'll have that in the comments too. And then my phone number direct is 720-541-4282.
Okay, great. So I hope you guys you liked this interview, and if you have questions for me, so please feel free shoot me a message or email or call me. And so thank you, Laura. And so maybe we'll talk next time. Great
Yeah,
interview. Thanks.
absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.